How are you guys doing today? Awesome. Welcome to another episode of Sunday Morning Vibes. I'm your host, Bryanna Quiñonez, and today I have Lorena here next to me. How are you doing, Lorena?
Good. How are you?
Good. Happy to be here with you. I know your artist name is Nenaa. So is it okay if I call you Nenaa for the duration of the interview?
Yeah, that's fine.
Awesome. Well, Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
Any special resolutions you got planned for this year?
I think overall I just kind of want to stay grateful. Sometimes we're like so used to being like, okay, what's the next move? That I kind of have to cherish the moments that I'm in. But that's something that I want to work on throughout the year.
Yeah, and we can always think about those things and just plan for them, but every single day is just one day at a time. So I wish that for you.
And maybe get a little snatched, you know.
Oh, snatched. Oh yeah, right. New body, new year, new me. But I wanted to talk about your music. What do you have planned this year for your music?
I just recorded a single, so I'm not too sure when I'm gonna put that out there, but I'll probably put it out by this month. And then I'm working towards an EP, so I'll have a total of about 3 songs, and I want to put that out on Valentine's Day.
Oh, so is there romance involved? Should we look forward to that?
Yeah, so my EP, the one I have on Valentine's Day, my 3 songs are based on my relationship that I have right now, and it's kind of like how my magazine is too. It's like a new founding love, like it's a new feeling. So I'm gonna put that out Valentine's Day, and then hopefully, like just until then, I have the single that I just made, and then I'll release that. That's in regards of my mom.
Oh wow! So it's new feeling, new year, new relationship, a lot of newness. How do you feel about your inspiration behind your music? You said your mom, your relationship. Can you talk a little bit more about what inspires your music?
I think I've always been really into like soul, like R&B, and I just feel it more like when I start writing songs or when I'm thinking about a song or doing a beat, I always base it on pretty much like what I go through or how I feel or even like stuff that people can relate to more. You know, I really want that like old vibe kind of back, and I put a lot of my feelings and a lot of my emotions towards my music.
Wow. So you're based out of Sacramento. You said you only live about 10 minutes away from here.
Yeah.
Have you always lived here in Sacramento?
Yeah, pretty much my whole life. I went to LA for a bit when my sister was out there. It's just so fast paced. It's so different from here. Like you have to like keep going or you'll sink. And I was like, oh man.
That sounds stressful.
Yeah. But it's great. Like if you want to meet new connections, like there's so many different people connects. Like it's easier to go out there and like follow your dreams than Sacramento. It's kind of low, yeah.
Oh well, what's your favorite part about being an artist in Sacramento?
I would say the support system. Like there's so many people that support me out here, and you know, like they go to my shows or to my stuff, and they're just very supportive. One of my friends came from Santa Cruz just to come here today.
Oh, shout out to Santa Cruz. That's cool. So you have this magazine, and was it something that you did here in Sacramento, or was it something that thought of in LA? Like, what inspired your magazine?
No, at first it was kind of just to be like something for me, like kind of like a diary thing.
Yeah.
But then I started writing it, and I just remember sitting on the couch. I was with my boyfriend, and I was like writing it, and I was like, maybe I should turn this into something. And I don't know why, like, I decided to do a magazine. I think I was at like a pretty low time, and so my way of expressing things is like through lyrics or journaling or stuff like that. And I've always been so quick to make a song about things that I don't know. It kind of just went in that route, and then I was just like, okay, I'll just go with it.
I love it. When I first went on your Instagram and started seeing, you know, what are you up to? You're very active on social media, and I see that you are very giving on social media. You sell this for only like $5, and it probably took a lot more time and energy, and probably the print cost more than $5. And for, you know, someone to come and bring this together, First of all, it's beautiful. Like,
Thank you.
isn't she beautiful, guys?
Yeah.
She's gorgeous. You're gorgeous. And I see that you are talking about God here, and just like you said, all these different emotions, and your mom, and letters of the past, and a testimony. And can you talk about your relationship a little bit more about God and what brought you closer to even sharing this with people, the community, people you said in out of state, in like Texas or something?
Oh yeah. Well, what started it is, well, you know, I always believed in God, but I never really fully committed to His word. I sang at Catholic churches.
Okay.
I went to Christian churches. Part of my family is Jehovah's Witness,
Okay.
so I went to a lot of like conventions. We did door-to-door Bible studies.
Oh wow.
But I don't know. I just like, I think sometimes people struggle really getting into it because it's like something that they're just not drawn to, you know. And it's kind of like when you're at the bottom of the bottom and you don't really like see a route, you kind of like bounce up like a trampoline. I just remember I was in my car and I was just like, at that moment, things were like falling apart. Like friendships were falling apart, and my relationship was kind of rocky at that time. And then that's when I found out about my mom. She was really sick. So it kind of was like, I just remember being in my car and I was so sad. And I was just like, when you get to that point, you're just like, what do I do now? You know, like why? Like you're like, why is this happening? And I just remember listening to music, and I kid you not, like my radio stopped and a gospel song started playing. And it was like, seek and you shall find, knock and it shall open unto you.
Wow.
And so, I don't know, like that moment I was like, I don't know what to do. So I reached out to a pastor at my church, and I just remember crying on the phone. I was like, I don't know what to do. Like, I'm so unhappy. Like, I'm having bad thoughts. And she was like, you should try this thing called fast and pray.
Wow.
So it's like you fast until 12, and when you're hungry, you pray, and you fast from social media for a week. And so I was like, okay, so I erased all my apps, like TikTok, Instagram, whatever. And then I didn't eat. And every time, like, I was worried, I would pray. And I had just bought a book from my pastor at the church. So I decided to, like, start reading it. And it's like, every time you read something, it was like you needed to read it at that moment. And I felt like he was talking to me. And so I just was like, you know what, I'm going to devote to it. I started looking up stuff, like, and then that's when I wrote my testimony. And it's not really about the money to me. It's more about changing lives. Like, how many people can I influence? Like, my boyfriend even said, like, you want to take as many people to heaven as you can with you, you know? So at my job, a guy had committed suicide, and it was really hard on the family and stuff. So I hosted like this little event at work, and I had like a buffet, and like everybody that wanted a plate of food, they would chip in $5, and then at the end, all that money would go to their family for the funeral. And Costco was so nice that they matched it, and so we were able to give the family over $3,000. And I really got close with his wife, and so I was like talking to her, and she's just such a strong woman. Like, it's hard to lose somebody. So I put them into the magazine, and it's just like making them know that they had a purpose, you know?
Yeah.
But I don't know, I just, it's something that now, like, I'm so passionate about. So I was like, okay, well, how can I influence people in other ways? And like, as I'm learning more on my journey, it's like I want to share how I'm getting to where I want to be, you know,
Beautiful.
like closer.
Wow, I relate to you. My mom's also sick, and she battles an illness, and getting closer to God really is it's not so much of a job, but you have to find ways to be able to serve Him. And that's amazing that he connected with you through music. And I've heard so many testimonies about how gospel music really helped open that door. And just to hear your story, it just reminds me of my personal testimony. But I think a lot of people can relate to being shown a different route and knowing that they're not alone. And it's beautiful to see you doing community work, helping people around you through just the goodness of your heart. And God is going to protect your heart. God is going to serve through you, and I can tell that that's where you are and that's where you're like going with your captions on your Instagrams. It's Bible verses, just what you have here. It's a beautiful sight to see, and I think you're going to inspire a lot of people through this way. Is there something specific that you want to inspire people through your music? Like, how do you hope that your music inspires people? And who's your audience? Who do you want to help? Because you can help anybody, but is there someone specific in mind that when you create a music or a song, that you will change? Is there a visual in mind?
Well, my thing is if I can influence just one person, then I did my job. And, I never really thought of like trying gospel music, but, it's something that I've kind of been considering. And I don't know, like when you start really reading the Bible and understanding it, signs become more obvious. Like now something will happen and I'll be like, that was God, and like before we probably didn't see it as much because we were so caught up in like the fear and the doubt and the worrying that it like overpowers our mind. And so now like when you have that door open, you see that like even when something bad happens, like I'll stress out for a minute, but I'll be like, maybe it's supposed to happen. Like maybe, I'm supposed to go in that way and meet somebody, or I don't know, like something is supposed to happen. And even like, I even hosted this event and I had like 7 girls. We went to a coffee shop and I made a worksheet on, basically it was called The Love of Discipline. Mm-hmm. So it talked about the struggles that you face that turned into blessings. Like my mom getting sick was very hard on all of our family, but it's honestly changed her in ways that she would have never got there if she didn't go in this route.
It's like that saying, bad things need to happen in order for good things to fall in place.
Yeah, exactly. And sometimes like the situations, like we're so caught up on looking like, why is this happening in like a negative way, that you kind of have to look at it as like, this is probably happening for a good reason, like if she would have never slowed down and stuff like that, like, she could have been gone. And I think that a lot of people, have sudden deaths. They just die. You don't even know. Like, you can't even say your last goodbyes or anything like that. But hers being like, there was a time limit, like, oh, you have 3 months to live. Like, when God is ready, God will take you. Yeah. And even knowing the fact that, like, like, you're sick, but it could happen, you can change your life. You could change your heart. You could devote everything to Him. And I think that's what made it a lot easier, like, gaining a relationship with her. And it's helped me in so many ways. Like, my relationship with my boyfriend has been amazing since we started putting God like right in the center of all of our problems. Like, as relationships, you have this guideline of like how you want a man to be, how you want the relationship to be. And as women, we're stubborn. Like, I want it to be like this, I want it to be my way. And a guy has the same opinion. But when you guys both have the same game plan and it's through God, it makes things so much easier. Like, when we have a problem, we're like, okay, well, what does it say in the Bible? And then we'll, go through there, and then it just makes everything so much easier. So I just hope to influence that one person and change just one life. Like, that's all I'm asking, and then doors will open, like things will appear, and I'll know which direction I'm supposed to take.
Yeah. How do you see this year playing, excuse me, how do you see this year playing for you in the sense of putting music first, or God first, in your relationship and your family and music? What do you aspire to get out of this year through all those things?
I really want to focus on things that are troubling to myself. Like, you have to fix yourself within first in order for everything else to work. Like, you really have to be whole within yourself before you can really be happy. And I didn't really realize that until recently. But it's like, I really want to devote this year to, being grateful for what I had. Like, after my first magazine came out, right away I was like, okay, what's next? Mm-hmm. And they were like, hold on, like, like, cherish this right now. Like, you prayed to get where you're at now, and you're kind of just, like, skipping past it. Like, I was like, oh, man, like, it kind of humbled me. Like, go on my knees, pray. Like, God, thank you for even making this happen. Like, opened that door for me, So I really want to focus on being grateful. And I really want to focus on not allowing negativity to influence my mindset. Yeah. Like, if something like, say, not my wood, but say like you run over a nail in your new car,
Right.
Like, we're like, oh my gosh, like, where am I going to get the money to fix that? Like, we just start, I don't want to have that fear anymore in my heart. Like, I want to be like, okay, well, you know, God got me, I'm fine.
Yeah. If I can share, like, the perspective of waking up saying, today's going to be a good day, compared to, I'm going to find the good in today. It really just allows you to soak up everything that happens throughout the day, whether it's good or whether it's bad. Like, you're going to find the goodness even throughout the bad.
Yeah.
And that type of discipline, it definitely sounds like that's what you're portraying through your magazine, through your music. Like, it's just a constant work. It's never really an easy ride, right? It's a roller coaster. I'm curious, you know, like, when is the last time you performed in front of an audience? I know this whole pandemic really shut things down. Everything's been really, you know, on eggshells. Can you tell me about your last performance? When was that? Do you miss it? Are you excited to perform today in front of this beautiful audience here?
Girl, I don't even remember. Like, I don't even remember the last time I performed. Probably, like, years ago with Daniel. Like, we did, this was, like, way before the pandemic, too. Like, it's been a really long time. And it's easier to, you know, I come out with a rap song that sounds like Cardi B and I get, like, 12K views. And then when you come out with something that's a little bit more inspiring, it's just, you really go from, like, a bus to a four-seater car, you know? So it's kind of like, when you're more focused on yourself and stuff, I want to be very picky now with what I do and what I share too. Like, I don't want to just make music to make music. Like, I want to make music to, like, really inspire, like, really go in the route that I need to go.
I love that. It's more about impact than influence. You know, I would say, they say, like, you know, you can't put a bunch of people in a Lamborghini. You know, you can put a bunch of people on a bus, and you are going to see that big shift. How was that shift to you? Like, you know, putting out a rap song, getting 12K views versus something that's more spiritual and personal, soul-filled, you know, something straight from your heart that, you know, would inspire, would, you know, how do I say it, cause more impact. How was that shift, you know, getting from like 12K views to maybe like 1,000?
It's a very big shift. And you kind of see it, like, I stopped drinking. I remember when I got with my boyfriend, he's like, I think you have a problem. And I was like, no, I don't. Like, no, I don't. And then you start realizing it, like, maybe I do. And I was an emotional drinker. Like, it wasn't, you know, I would just drink to have fun. Like, I would drink if I was sad. I would drink if I was mad. Like, you going through something, I want to get messed up, you know, like, and it just became something emotional. Like, every time I was stressed or anything like that, like, I wanted to drink. And when I stopped, I lost so many friends.
Yeah.
Because people are so used to, like, me being, like, the main party girl and, like, but then when you stop, it's kind of like, oh, she's no fun anymore. Like, you know, she's boring. But I've never been so focused on my dreams. And, you know, I'm going to make it to the top with or without an army. So, and it's just, like, the people that stay in your corner when you know, like, start going on a good route, those are the people that really are going to be with you at the top. So it was hard to transition. Like, even, like, after I was, like, reading the Bible more and stuff, I was like, I don't want my crop tops, and I don't know, like, everything changes, like, and I'm just like, I erased, like, my rapping videos, because I can't be praising about God and rapping about, you know, other stuff. So I'm like, you kind of have, like, an image check. Like, you got to figure out, okay, what route are you going to take? You want to be a rap star, or you want to, you know, be a godly woman? And I'd rather pick the godly woman over a rap star. So. Yeah,
even though the road is a little bit more lonely and you won't get as much fame. It's inspiring to hear that, because I think a lot of people just put out music just to get the fame, and not so much the expression they get to release, and the art and the process you get to learn throughout creating a song and really diving into, like, your within to be able to put out something authentic, a storytelling opportunity for you. What is your method of creating a song? How do you start creating a song in the first place? Is there something that needs to happen in your life and you're like, all right?
No, I'm not like that at all. Like, I'll just, like, go on YouTube or look up beats or go online, and I'll just, like, listen to a beat, and I have about 10 seconds. And if I don't think of something, like a flow in my head, I'm like, next beat. And then I'll sit there and I'll think of a flow, and I'll be like, you get the flow first. I'm like, And then I'm like, okay, let me put these words into it. or like I send them all to my boyfriend. What do you think about this one? Nah, I don't like this one. Okay, what about this one? Like I'll like narrow it down to like 5, and then I'll just keep going. And then when I hear it, and if I hear a beat and it just automatically comes to me, I'm like, okay, this is it. And then automatically and majority of the time where I find the beats and I start writing my music is in the car. I notice that. Like, it's never like, I can't just sit there and be like, okay, I'm going to think of something. Like, sometimes it just comes naturally and I'm like in my car listening to music and then I'm like, okay, let me like write this down or get my phone out and just like think of something really quick or I'll record it so then I don't forget. But that's usually how I make my songs, like in the car, in the shower.
I wonder why that is, right? Everything happens in the car.
Maybe you're just at peace with yourself.
You're like comfortable. This is like your zone.
Yeah.
This is like your chair. Like, I have to look into that one. That's interesting. So, I want to open up the audience and maybe ask if there's anybody that has any questions for Nenaa. And is there anything, maybe something that you want to ask? Just raise your hand.
Going back to that previous question, I wanted to know if you have ever like gone back to a certain beat like after a certain amount of time, because I know timing also plays a role with that, or is it just one and done? Like once I don't get the inspiration, it just
it's one and done. Yeah, like if it doesn't click to me right then and there, then that wasn't it. Like I think when you know, like when you hear something, you're like, that's it right there. Or so if I don't have that feeling instantly, I don't want to settle. There's so many beats, like there's so many that I'm gonna come across again and I'll be like, this is it. Like this is the one. So it's one and done for me.
Yes, Julian?
Who are some of your favorite producers that you've worked with or audio engineers or studios that you've gone to?
I just recently went to Q and I must say it's so different than what I'm used to. So I do this weird thing in the studio where I don't want to hear the beat. I don't want to hear anything but the metronome and just tick, tick, tick. And I sing over that. And I can't hear myself like harmonize. Like, and with Q, it was like, no, you have to. No, do it like this. And I was like, I don't want to do it like that. Like I was getting so frustrated, but that was probably the best song I've made. Like harmony wise, like, or I'd be like, oh, I can't. Like, yeah, you can, try again. And I was like, dang, like, you just have to keep going. Like, he really knows what he's doing. And I even seen, like, after I worked with him, and, you work with other people, you're like, man, like he was really good. Like, he knows what he's talking about.
Shout out to Q.
Yeah, shout out to Q.
Q is
he really pushed
pushing his artists.
Yeah, he's great. I got, somebody told me about him before, and they were like, just be aware, like, he's really pushy. And I was like, it's fine. But I can see what they're saying, but it pushes you to be better, you know? Like, you need that kind of criticism. It's like having somebody in your corner, like say you do something bad. The people that don't tell you you're doing something bad, they don't want you to succeed, Like, they'll give you that criticism, like, hey, I know you're trying, but this is what you need to do. And even if it's uncomfortable for you, like, that's something that I need to learn, like, if I want to perform or be live or anything like that. Like, I really need to just hear it and having that ear for it. I've been so babied lately that I get to do it my way. So.
Right, and that's not the way it should be, not in the real world. So how do we find you? How does anybody out there want to find your music, find your Instagram? What do they search? Are you on Spotify, iTunes, any of those platforms?
Yeah, I have everything. So when I come out with new stuff, I put it all on Apple Music, Spotify, SoundCloud, like everything you can think of, and then I publish it out there. I've been trying to want to drop more EPs, so like drop them all at one time. But singles are nice. Hopefully, eventually, I have a videographer. His name is Jay Lace. And it's been so long since I recorded a video, maybe like 4 years ago. But I know that that's something I want to do. Like when I get the song and I'm like, this is it. This is the one. I want to record a music video for it.
Nice. Well, thank you so much for this interview. Is there anything else that you want to share about yourself, about your music, about your religion, family? Any ending comments for this interview?
Yeah, so just kind of telling people what my main thing is now. Now that I came out with my first magazine, I started a second one. It's A New Founding Love. my brand is Double Vision. So it basically talks about my personal testimony of like how your past trauma can affect your relationships with just anybody or even yourself too.
Right.
So my new magazine will be out February 1st, and it kind of like identifies your past traumas, how to overcome those, and then it kind of gives like statistic based of the difference between. So I asked us like about 5 couples series of questions. I asked, married, not married. I asked people that were religious, non-religious, and I asked them a whole series of questions, and then I put those as percentage. And I even looked online, so you can see the difference of having a relationship built into God and having a relationship built in within your guys' selves,
Wow.
and like the difference of it. So I put that. A lot of people wanted to hear my boyfriend's point of view and how God influenced our relationship. So he wrote a little testimony in there. And then I did scriptures, so they can help with like how a wife should be, how a husband should be, unity and submitting to one another. And then I put a lot of the stuff that cause divorces, the 3 things. I put what it says about those 3 things in the Bible. So it's definitely religion based, but it's also understanding like everybody has trauma, and I don't really believe there's relationship issues. It's personal issues that you bring to a relationship. So once you start clearing those things within yourself, it makes it easier.
Yeah.
So I just really hope to inspire people and continue to put out magazines, and that's
beautiful. Thank you so much for sharing that.
Thank you.
So much insight on love, music, passion, trauma, God. I'm excited for your new magazine. And so do we just message you when we want to get it?
Yeah, so right now I'm doing a raffle. So
That's right, I saw that.
I have 28 spots, and then each spot is $14. So because Valentine's Day is on the 14th.
Right.
And then what it includes is a copy of my last magazine, my new magazine. It has 2 eyeshadow palettes from Pinky Rose.
Cute.
It has a teddy bear, a makeup brush set, and a pair of my cousin's Esme lashes. She has a beautiful brand. And so all of that will be put together. There'll be 3 winners, not just 1, 3. And then that's kind of like how I'm going to intro my magazine out. And then everybody else, like, I'm going to keep it $5 and then kind of just go out from there. Like, hopefully later on I can get a website going, but I just do drop-offs at the moment. And I have people that buy it from, like, Connecticut and Arizona, New Mexico. Like, I go in and I mail it to them. And so, it doesn't really matter about the money to me, but I really want to, like, do something special.
Yeah. Oh, well, I'll make sure to message you and get my raffle in, because that sounds really nice. Thank you again so much for joining us on Sunday Morning Vibes. It was definitely a new vibe for us, and I think that you're just very inspiring, and I really enjoyed talking to you. Thank you.
The first song we're going to do is Hallelujah. I think Hallelujah reminds me, there was a time when it was my father's funeral, and I went up there and I probably just had a super big panic attack. So I only got to sing like 4 words, and then I stopped. So I guess I'm just going to dedicate this to him.
Strong, but you needed proof. You saw her bathing on the roof, her beauty and the moonlight overthrew you. She tied you to
song I'm gonna go in. Next song is Tennessee Whiskey. Doesn't really have a meaning to it, but I really love the song. It's funny because yesterday we were trying to practice it, and I was at Christina's house, and she was like, "I'm gonna cry if you play that song."
Stop if you want.
Because it reminds me of my dad, so I'm gonna dedicate this to her dad.
I knew it. Now I'm gonna cry.
Don't make me cry. Oh, see, it's two.
Used to spend my nights out in the
next one, we did like a mixture of Wade in Your Water and Alcoholic. Again, it doesn't really have meaning, but it was our first song that we played.
It was our first song we
together.
played at the bar in like 2019, 2020. But we played at the bar, and then we had Jay Lace, which is the videographer she was speaking about earlier, record a music video inside of Christina's garage.
Yeah.
Right? We had our own little setup.
We had like plants in the back to make it look tropical, and I had like a hat on.
No one knew it was in the garage after
Yeah.
we posted it. Like, oh, it's in the garage. Made it look nice. After we posted it, actually, Common King saw it, and they commented on our video. They messaged me on Instagram and were like, thank you guys, that was great. And it was really inspiring for me. I guess she didn't know about it
I didn't know until
just a
recently.
few days ago. But yeah, this is a song by them. You know what? I'm so sorry. I think
You're
I
up.
did it a little too high. I mean, too low. So I should do that.
Yeah.
Sponsored by Billabong, so boy type of boy I like to feel the bone. You want to really want to rock his boat like a hurricane in a perfect storm. Ask her where you on away to. He said hallelujah. He said he loved the North Shore, bikini top, black stats, and the Porsches. Whoa. You're the chaser to my crown royal. Body like a cold bottle, and with every drink I can help but think smooth it go down, yeah. Baby boy, I love your flavor. You're the rock star after that Jaeger. Southern comfort when I need to be held. I'm so in love with you, boy, 'cause I'm so drunk off your love, yeah, I'm buzzing. And I can't get enough of your loving, sipping you down, yeah. I love it, yeah, yeah, yeah. You're the reason I'm an alcoholic. Oh, oh, oh. You're the reason I'm an alcoholic. Oh, oh, oh. You're the juice that makes my knees weak. My Grey Goose, baby, you complete that mixed drink. My Patron, I'm taking shots at you. So into you, in my Malibu. My passion for you is like my Alizé. Baby, it turns blue when you go away. So loving you, boy, so thirsty, baby. 'Cause I'm so drunk off your love, yeah, I'm buzzing. And I can't get enough of your loving, sipping you down, yeah. I love it, yeah, yeah, yeah. You're the reason I'm an alcoholic. Oh, oh, oh. You're the reason I'm an alcoholic. Oh, oh, oh. Your love is the only love I'm tasting. Baby boy, you're so intoxicating. I'ma keep sipping on your love. Boy, I've never been so drunk. Can I wait in your water? Can I wait in your water? Can I wait in your water till I catch your wave? Can I wait in your water? Can I wait in your water? Can I wait in your water like catch your wave? Oh.
And then our last song is gonna be "Hit 'Em Up" by Tupac. No, I'm just kidding. It's hit 'em up style. I think the only one that has meaning for. So there was a audition or competition. It was called Teen Idol, And I remember going and I lost, going and I lost. I did it 5 times, 5 times. And the last time I did it, I was 18. Like after you're 18, you can't do it anymore. So I was like, this is my year. Like I have to get something. And I did this song and I got 3rd place. It took 5 shots, but I got it. So I'm really proud of this one.
He was steaming, I was beaming in the beamer, just beaming. Can't believe that I caught my man cheating. So I found another way to make him pay for it all. So I went to leave the Marcus on a shopping spree. And on the way I grabbed Story and Mia. And as the cash bar rang, I bought everything away. There goes the dreams we used to say. There goes the times we spent away. There goes the love I had, but you cheated on me, and that's where it's at now. There goes the house we made a home. There goes you'll never leave me alone. For all the lies you told, this is what you owe. When your man wanna get wild, just go back and hit him up style. Put your hands on his cash